I just went for it. I felt like I had a story to tell. I really pushed myself last year to keep my expectations going through chemotherapy. I wanted to make sure that my students knew they still mattered, and for my own sake, that normalcy in my life continue. And that was kind of like my own therapy to get me through a lot of what I experienced with my cancer. And I just wanted to also let other people know what I've experienced in that 25 years, what keeps me going. And I got a call from Rebecca. There's this big pause, and she goes, "You're one of the 12." And I'm jumping up and down. And someone walks by my room and thought that I was fallen or something. I don't know. They came in, they were like, "Are you okay? Is there something you need?" I feel like that was huge to be one of 12 in the state. So it was exciting for me to tell my family, for me to tell my 92-year-old father, because it was important for me, for him to know that other people saw that what I did was good. It's almost to the point where I'm afraid to start school, because 2 years ago, right before school started, my mom passed away. And then last year, right before school started, I had surgery on my neck to remove a lump. I remember sitting on the side of the bed and my husband coming and telling me, and me just flat out saying, "It's cancer, isn't it?" And he said yes. And in that moment, it's so strange, because instead of me thinking, what's the next step? What am I going to have to go through? Seriously, in my mind was, this can't be happening. I have to start school in a few weeks. Went to a class to learn what to expect. Felt like I was my students asking all these questions and taking notes. And in that moment, I realized I can do this. And I felt like I could do this because I knew I had a room full of students that were depending on me to do it. And I feel like that was the push. It also was my children's senior year, was my daughter's senior year in college and my son's senior year in high school. And I knew that wasn't going to interfere or take away from their moments. And so I hid a lot of things because I didn't want my students to worry, and I didn't want my family to worry. That was how I was going to push through this, was have my days be as normal as they possibly could be. And I really believe that my job and my love for my family is what got me through that difficult time. The December before is when I rang the bell. My husband entered my world. I wasn't necessarily thrilled about him entering my world because I've always been known as Scott's wife. He's a community schools liaison for 2 schools, Jarman and Jefferson. So I'm hoping maybe somewhere down the line, someone will finally say to him, "Hey, you're Rexanne's husband." And then my whole world will come full circle. I started out in Jinx. I even drove to Jinx from Bartlesville for 2 years. And then we started a family. And when you're in the speech, drama, and debate, there's a lot of late night rehearsals and driving back and forth. Many times by the time I got home, my child was asleep and I felt like I missed a day of their lives. So I had to make some decisions. So I ended up teaching in Bartlesville. And Bartlesville is where I switched to English. It's a smaller town. You get to know your students a lot more. I had a group of boys that I really clicked with. You go to their activities, you learn a lot, and you become part of their lives. And they were involved in a car accident, and Scott was driving and got thrown out of the car and died on the scene. Eric died a few months later, and then a year later there was another person in their group that died in a shooting accident. I still to this day have the 3 of them behind me, and I was like, I really liked seeing their pictures and reminding me why I do what I do. And so that started me realizing it didn't just have to be about them, it could be also about my current students. So I started going to more events, taking more pictures and putting them up in my wall so that I surround myself with what matters to me, which is my family, which are my pictures behind me, and then my students throughout the room. It has really helped with the climate in my classroom, I feel. When students come in, they know they matter. I don't just want to teach them the skills that they need to write. I want to teach them the skills that they need to succeed, to interact with others. And I want them to know that you're important. Wherever you may be in this world, you are important and still on my wall. One of the things that I really love about Union is the diversity that we have. They all come with their different stories, things that I am not exposed to, and to see some of them be the first generation to go to college, first generation to get some type of certification, and for me to know that I was part of that journey. I'm now a department head for the 11th grade. I've had the opportunity to serve on the district professional development committee. This last year I decided to volunteer to be chairman for the Teacher of the Year committee, and I've been able now to witness all across the district the different Teachers of the Year and what they have accomplished in their own classrooms, and it just has set motivation for me to be that foundation in my own classroom and to try to uphold that excellence that we strive for here at Union. I helped start the Reading for Pleasure class here at Union. I also, in the past several years, have offered my room up for new students so that when they come to this large of a school, they have a safe place to go for lunch so that they're not eating by themselves. I just want these students to know they're heard, they're seen. I have students that work to help put food on the table. You know, I have students that are first in their generation to graduate. I have students that have ambitions that are beyond what I even thought was possible. And I really feel like the public needs to know that they deserve better. They deserve to be able to have the education that they need to succeed. I hope after 25 years I've left some type of legacy, something that they can say they learned from me. On March 1st, we'll have the ceremony where we'll be recognized and they'll announce the winner. We have a group text that we have together, and we've all realized that we've already won because we've had the opportunities that not everyone gets to be able to meet people from across the state. And I hope that the public's paying attention to the importance of keeping teachers like us and having us explain the importance of keeping public education alive and functioning, and that these students have what they need in order to succeed.